It merged from 15 to 23.
I know I can't even color it in here, but it's on.
I'll see. It's not perfect for me.
Okay, we're ready.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. It is July 27th at 7:03 PM. It's a special meeting. Can we all please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll do roll call. I've got Scott.
Yeah.
Rod is not here. Josh is not here. Lauren.
Here.
And Stephanie is here. We have a quorum with 3. So today's meeting, I have a little blurb that I typed up to read to everybody. And it says, "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'd like to welcome you to today's public meeting regarding the proposed consolidation of the county auditor and the county treasurer offices. The purpose of today's meeting is to provide information about the proposal, explain why the commission is considering it, and most importantly, hear from members of the public. No final decision is made tonight. This meeting is an opportunity for citizens to ask questions, share their thoughts, and have their comments become part of the public record. This proposal is not about any individual or political office holder. It is about evaluating whether the current structure remains the best way to serve our county. We welcome differing viewpoints and appreciate everyone taking the time to participate respectfully. Again, we ask that everyone is respectful of one another, even if we have different viewpoints. Our goal is to have an open, productive discussion focused on what's in the best interest of the county and the taxpayers. Thank you again for taking the time to participate. We'll begin with an overview of the proposal, and then we'll open the floor for questions and public comment. So following that, I made 2 forms that about the information on combining it. So I can read over one of them if you guys want me to read them, or you guys have any questions right off the bat? No, yes. So there are some frequent questions that we tried to predict what people would be asking. So I'll read them. And why is this being considered right now? And the recent vacancy of the auditor's position provides a unique opportunity to evaluate whether Griggs County's current governmental structure is the best fit for the future. So again, this is not about any individual or reducing services. It's about providing efficiency, strengthening financial operations, and ensuring long-term sustainability for county government. You know, what are the benefits? Greater efficiency, streamlining financial operations. We are now electronic. It's 2026, everything's on the computer. Before years when it was paper and journals and ledgers and checks and balances were longer and harder. All be on the computer does reduce time. Putting this together reduces duplication of administration work, and it creates one coordinated financial management team, improves communication between related functions. Better use of staff, it increases cross-training, better stability during vacations, retirements or vacations, or during vacations or vacancies, more flexibility and serving the public. That meaning that all 3 would be cross-trained together to do each other's jobs. So if there will be always one person that is able to do all 3, I think is what the thoughts were regarding that. Strong financial management, one integrated financial workflow, fewer reconciliation steps, faster processing for payments, tax settlements, and financial reports. Improvement, coordinating the budget, accounting, and tax administration. The thought on this also is that if everything's all in one office, when people come, they're like, they'll go to the auditor's office, send to the treasurer's office to be sent back to the auditor's office, and we're not sure what office to go to. This will be all in one-stop shop. You go there, the one office can do it, manages all of it. And then currently we have 23 of 53 counties have already combined their auditor and treasurer offices. On the backside, frequent questions. Does this eliminate checks and balances? No, it does not. The county financial oversight continues through our annual independent audit, state reporting requirements, internal controls, and then the county commission oversight. So today's accountability comes through financial controls and audits, not simply by having 2 elected offices. Is this eliminating an elected office? Nope, we are just consolidating the administrative structure. And the position still remains elected. And so the office remains accountable to voters. And all statutory duties continue to be performed. Will any employees lose their job? No, because they're all 3 already there. I believe back in 2014, when they once upon a time brought it to the public for election, there was 2 full-time people in the office. And they were asking to consolidate the 2. And that is really hard when you have 2 full-time people in there to ask the county to say, hey, should we merge them? And it's like, what? We're just got to tell somebody they're gonna have to let them go. So that is, being it's vacant right now, it makes it a great opportunity to do so. And of course, why now is the next question. The auditor position is currently vacant. Rather than immediately filling the separate office, the county commission has an opportunity to determine whether a combined office is the most effective long-term structure for Griggs County. And then looking ahead, this proposal is preparing Griggs County for the future. You know, as the county faces staffing challenges, we don't have a lot of people in the county. You don't have a lot of accountants in the county. So if you have somebody who already is well-versed in the county, in the auditor and the treasurer position, it's very handy to just smooth it all together in one. Technology challenges, and then growing financial responsibilities. So, and then our goal here is efficient government, responsible stewardship, strong financial management, excellent public service, and then last but not least, your voice matters. The county commission welcomes your questions, comments, and participation as we continue as we consider what is best in the best interest of Griggs County. With that being said, you can look at the map and you can see the 23 that are currently on there, everywhere from Adams down to Towner and some in the between. Griggs County is currently, our population as of 2024 is 2,519. So with that being said, both the same size as the other ones that have merged. Does anybody have any questions or comments? No?
The one thing I wanted to ask, because this was voted on previously, whether the century code says anything about having to wait a certain time before considering it again, or that's not an issue.
I don't think that's an issue. It doesn't show anything in the code. And simply, the code simply gives two avenues to do it. One is the county commission coming up and adopting the plan, and that being left to vote a referendum if there's a group that wants to petition to vote on it, or by voter referendum to do it. So as far as a waiting period, no, I didn't see anything. Just that if it failed previously.
Have you had any feedback from any of the other counties, how their situation is working? Their problems or strengths or weaknesses with these?
So I can speak to that. I was in Nelson County when we did combine the offices. I'm the state's attorney, and I was the state's attorney at the time in Nelson County and in Griggs County. It's been positive in Griggs County. I don't think that there has been anything that there. And that one is that transition was probably even a little more complicated because there was the auditor left and moved out of the area and took a different job, and the treasurer retired, so there wasn't even an internal hire. It was a deputy auditor from Ramsey County that came over. So there was familiarity with county government and the way things worked, but he was a completely new person to Nelson County. I, I guess, in my opinion, the transition was smooth. I think I could even give you some names of some of the county commissioners and the auditor, and you could speak with them about it. I think they're all satisfied with the way it went, and the auditor is still there and doing a good job of taking care of the county. I know I've spoken with other counties in the past about the transition. Pierce County, for example, spoke with them a long time ago. And that transition was smooth since Nelson County has done it. Foster County, I provided Foster County the plan and the documents, and I provided one other county, and I don't remember which one it was. But since Nelson County has done it, there were two counties that contacted me about Nelson County's plan, and I provided them with the plan. I guess I'll be frank, I'm an advocate of it. I think it makes sense. Knowing the duties of the job, I think it streamlines the system. I think the checks and balances are still there. I think the checks and shouldn't say the need for checks and balances, but I think the checks and balances have changed over time with electronic accounting and less cash. And I think it enables there to be cross-training within the office and maybe within the entire courthouse to make things more efficient and better for the taxpayers. Ultimately, I think it's a good move for the taxpayers. And I hope more people ask questions. I was kind of disappointed to see only a couple of you in here. Because I do hope that more people ask questions and more people are informed about it. Because it is a big decision for the county to make, and I don't think it's one that should be taken lightly. But I think that's the right direction for the county to be moving. Just because the labor force is getting more difficult to find qualified individuals. But I think that with the new efficiencies with the accounting softwares and be able to do things electronically, I think that it's a good move for the county to make too. So yeah, I guess, like I said, Nelson County, I was there for it. I think it was a pretty smooth transition, I should say. Other counties have since done it. Like I said, Foster County has done it. In full transparency, there was a county that moved away from it. That was Burleigh County, but I don't think that was because there was problems with the way that things worked. I think it was more of a difference of opinion between the auditor and the county commissioners. And the rumors are that they're gonna move back to a single office system again. So yeah, I think it's a good direction for the county to go in because of those reasons. And like I said, I think the transition will be relatively smooth, or really smooth, especially with Madison. She's been in both offices before, so she should be able to handle it.
And she's been doing a great job in these past weeks.
Thank you.
We've had some challenges. Yeah.
I know with the timing of it, got election coming up again, and it was right after that or during that, really, is statements and things. So do you foresee that you might end up having to get part-time help too to help the three of you do?
I don't think so. I think, obviously I wasn't working for the auditor's office last year during tax statements, but I feel tax statements went very, very smooth this last year. We had one extra person helping us, the extension agent, but she only came in for a little bit, but otherwise the rest of us, the three of us, it went really well. So I don't foresee us needing to, but that's always something that could come up.
Basically, the structure that it's set up right now is there's a treasurer and auditor, and there's at the end right.
Yes,
So you're just basically eliminating one person.
yes. So yep, the auditor left, and so it would just be, I just take on those duties.
And we still have the two deputies.
And
that you
still,
would
yep.
Cross-trained and.
Yes, yep,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
So one of the concerns, and I think it's a very important concern. But one of the concerns is the checks and balances. And, I guess the way the transition happened in Nelson County, and I think this is the way it happens in the other counties that the change is made, is that each, I guess there's the auditor treasurer, kind of the office head, and then there's a deputy auditor and a deputy treasurer. So there's still the checks and balances within the office because there's still kind of the auditor and kind of the treasurer's office by them having the defined jobs. So there's still the ability to have checks and balances. With that said, and doing some research for this, the state's attorney that took my position, also the state's attorney in Towner County, and I just learned this a month or so ago, that, even if you do have separate auditors and treasurers, there's still the ability to do some funny business. The auditor and treasurer in Towner County, work together to embezzle money from the county. So as much as you can make the argument that you need a separate auditor, a separate treasurer's office to have checks and balances, there still could be that collaboration between the two to defeat those checks and balances. So, I think that there's checks and balances within the office, even if they're combined. And, like I said, not every system is perfect, so even with separate offices, something could slip by and make it through.
That's why you have the annual audit too.
Right, yeah.
So,
Would there be other audits besides the annual one?
That would be up to the commissioners to do. Typically, it's the state requires an annual audit. And that would be up to the commissioners. There's still the oversight ability of the commission, and the commission during the commission meetings receives a copy of the ledger. And the commission has to okay all the expenditures on a monthly basis. So there is still the oversight from the commission, the same oversight that there is now. That wouldn't change.
So basically, the commission basically auditing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. We'll receive monthly reports or whenever we want the reports. Right now, Madison and I are working with Harold, our auditor Harold, to get year 2025 year end done and work on the budget for 2027. So we're working on that. And so, I mean, he is right now working on the year end, but he's also helping getting things organized.
so and all the records, all the financial records of the county, except the draft audit, I learned, that it's all subject to open records. So if you want to come in and request a copy of the ledger of the county or get a digital copy of the ledger of the county, as long as that document is created or available, you can get that document. So it's subject to oversight by everybody, which is good. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, you have to trust the people that are going to work for you, or they can, I mean, there's always some loophole that someone can get through. So you do have to trust the people that are working for you, but there still are checks and balances that make the employees accountable.
I feel that's very strong with the three that we currently have in the offices that are very capable of doing the work.
Like Benford when they squirreled away $1 million.
When was that?
A couple of years ago.
I must have lived under a rock and didn't catch that one.
But I mean, every one of
It
those
can
financial
happen. It
moves,
can happen.
but that was, the board knew about what was going on. I mean,
Not all of them.
so, but it's ultimately the responsibility of the board to have oversight.
Yep,
Yep.
So
yep.
I didn't mean,
if the financials are there, so if they're there and provided to you, it's only the board's fault if you're not paying attention to them.
Oh, and we are with a fine tooth comb right now, line by line, by GL code by GL code. Thank you, Bryce.
So since we're in public hearing, we probably should hear about what those two
Yes.
think about the combination.
Fill
of
us in again.
offices.
If you guys wanna, you guys can come sit with us if you would
Two
like.
open
Then we have 2 open chairs.
Yep.
I'll move my budget file
that's-
stuff away.
I mean, I'm still in the opinion. I'm very much for it. I think it'll be good. So far, it's worked out, over these past couple weeks very well. I think if the public has problems, come and talk to us. If they have questions, anything, so far we've been trusted to handle everything. There's not been any major issues. So what's gonna change now? Like they voted to have Maddie as treasurer, like they obviously trusted in her to handle that. I have full faith in her as auditor as well. I can't see anything negative happening from it personally. I'm 100% for her to be the auditor. I'm very happy as deputy. And I'm excited to learn things for the treasurer's office to take on those roles. One thing I've heard someone say is they were concerned about something getting overlooked. They're like, well, if you just have a task and any of you can do it, how do you make sure it gets done? And I was like, well, I think we'll each have like our designated tasks that we would be in charge of. But if one of us is out sick, someone else will make sure that it gets taken care of. Nothing is going to get overlooked. Like we will make sure of that. I also heard from someone else that they had heard, they go, well, if they combine the offices, so there's gonna be construction? And what are you talking about? Well, they're combining the offices. No, just the positions. So for anyone curious, there's no construction happening. Just moving a desk
Maybe
into an
some
office.
desks moving, but
Yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. So no, I feel very good about it personally. And always open to people coming up with questions, even if they think it's silly. Come up, let's put faith. I mean, we trust we trust the county to vote for everyone and to make their opinions be known. Come, ask these questions. That's why we're here. That's what we're here to do. So,
Very good. Bryce?
I see it going well, I guess. I have faith in Maddie as auditor treasurer, and I've seen how it works in Nelson County, kind of, from the sidelines. We have a spot at Lake, so I've seen doing really well with the park board and the county and all that stuff. So I'm hopeful it goes well.
You've been working with Maddie for how many years already?
3.
3.
Yes.
3 glorious years.
Well, and I would just tell anybody that has questions, if you want to look towards those other counties and ask them questions, I know the commissioners in those counties, they wouldn't have any problem doing it. The auditors in those counties wouldn't have any problem answering the questions. So yeah, if there are questions, Nelson and Foster, I know are 2 of the most recent ones. Nelson was probably in 2021, somewhere around there that they did it. And Foster was after, probably 22 or 23. So I mean, that's some of the recent ones where they definitely would remember the growing, if there's growing pains, or remember the transition. But I would suggest talking to any of them that have done it, because I think they'll all give you a good review of it. It seems like it works.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Stories?
It's just a shame they didn't have a walk-through door between the auditor and treasurer, which was
No.
considered in those plans.
Oh,
Then they'll put the closet there.
okay. Yeah.
I think the idea is to move all 3 into the one, to the auditor's office, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
We will have to move some filing cabinets along the back There's quite a few back there, but for the time being, if all of this goes through, then we would move those into the treasurer's office. And then Bryce's desk would go right there, which I do know my desk when I was in the auditor's office was right there. I do believe there was one or two less cabinets though. I can't quite remember where we had them though, but there is space. There is space for an additional desk in there.
Well, I'm guessing that wall isn't the structural wall. It's not a load bearing wall, I would guess. And I would guess if there is a desire to open that office up, at least a portion of it, I wouldn't think it would be that expensive to do.
Right. Any other comments? Well, if we feel like we're set, we're good with everything. I would look for a.
So- Hey, Steph, hang on one second. So, yeah, I've been talking to some people and the big thing is they're talking about is checks and balances, you know. And, I basically told the people two of the people I talked to is that, we have this public meeting, it's just, show up for it and voice your opinion, what you're thinking, you know. So,
Right. And the checks and balances will still be there. It'll just be within the
Yep.
office versus having the two different offices checking and balancing each other.
Yep.
You know, like, for instance, Manette Parkview is a good example. I only have one business office manager and I have myself. Our checks and balances is she enters the invoices, I approve the invoices, she cuts the checks. You know, she processes the payroll, I review the payroll, ensure there's no, for corrections or anything. Managers improve their payroll and then she runs the checks. So I mean, we do still have internal checks and balances that we will do through here. It's just rather than the treasurer's office checking on the auditor's office work, it'll be between you three. Oh, it'll just be great.
And I think like right now with Maddie as acting or interim auditor, it kind of gives like, oh, an idea of a test run. And so far, I think it's wonderful. Other than the usual, like, all learning new things. Well, that would be a struggle for anybody who moves into that office. So, but I think it's been very good.
Yes, and although I was in the auditor's office, I don't know if it's ever actually, I feel like we've talked about it, but I was in the deputy auditor for 4 years and then now I've been the treasurer for 4 years. And in those 4 years as deputy auditor, I didn't do budget. I helped with election, but I didn't run the election. So those are new things that I will be learning. So to let the people know that that's something that, yes, is new for me, but I have great resources. I have people from the state that help new auditors when an election is being run, they're not gonna leave you in the dark. So,
Even as deputy auditor, I learned a lot about the election and they are amazing at getting back to you about helping. To them, there is no stupid question. Like, they are fantastic.
Yeah.
There's not a doubt in my mind that you will be able to handle it.
and our CPT software has been very helpful too. I've been finding new reports and so that's really nice and that's helping too with even more checks and balances. Working with the budget, found a new report that's very helpful. So that's awesome. Yes.
We contacted Linda at the association to help us out with budget and she's like, oh, you guys have CPT? And she's like, oh, you need this report. That's what you need.
Yep.
So Maddie found those reports and we're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
wonderful. So that was great. We're gonna have another meeting with her to review our work. We're have a rough draft and be like, okay, check
So
some
we
of
have
this out with
outside
us.
people as well, even.
Harold is
even
going to
looking-
help
Harold
us.
is helping us. So we've got a lot of checks and balances happening outside of the office and in the office.
So even with that said, Maddie's gonna be new to the auditor position itself. If the offices are kept together, there's still gonna be a new auditor, so there's going to be learning regardless of. So it's not really changing anything other than there just being one person that's the department head.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Anything else from anybody? Okay, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So
That
moved.
would be me.
Oh, I'll second it.
Motion by Scott, second by Lauren. All right, in discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. It is 7:32. Have a great evening.
Okay.